coffee. Some people may need their daily caffeine intake. I know I certainly do, but it was one thing that I had to watch out for when I had my baby. Today's question is, does coffee affect my baby's sleep? About 1% of caffeine ingested will pass through into the mother's breast milk. Now, there are studies that have shown that mothers that drink coffee and mothers that don't drink coffee and their baby's sleep is no different from each other. So it's really unclear whether it actually does affect your baby's wakefulness or not. Now, if your baby is wakeful, there's a couple of things that you should also look out for and check before blaming that coffee. So, wind is a really big one, especially in newborn babies. Wind can really upset and really make it hard for some babies to settle, especially it's really obvious if they wake up within that sort of 5 to 10 minute mark of actually going to sleep. So undigested wind can affect some newborns a lot more than others. With those babies, I would really make sure that you try and wind and burp them halfway through a feed, after a feed, after they've been laying down for a couple of minutes on their back, and then also before you're about to change them and pop them back into bed. Another thing that can affect your baby's sleeping is over and under tiredness. Overtiredness you'll end up with a baby that's really hard to settle, crying a lot, pulling their legs up, appearing like they've got wind and not wanting to go to sleep. The more infamous undertired is when you're putting your baby down to bed and they're just not genuinely tired enough to actually have a sleep. They also will be crying, unsettled, resisting your settling attempts and not wanting to go to sleep. This often happens if you're trying to pop them down in those newborn stages after an hour and a half and your baby's actually, moved on from those newborn wakeful periods and you need to extend those awake times. Another thing that can affect your baby's sleeping is reflux. Now, reflux is actually completely normal in babies and especially in newborns. It's when the milk is flowing from their tummy back up into their mouths and sometimes out. Now, if your baby is spilling and they're actually happy and they're not unsettled and not crying after that happens, that is actually fine and completely normal. If your baby is spitting up or is bringing milk up and accompanying that is really unsettled behavior and they're crying a lot, that means that they do have reflux, and this is where coffee can actually be to blame. My pediatrician told me that I could have 1 coffee per day and to make sure that it was a decaf coffee for my children that were diagnosed with reflux. If you're worried if coffee is to blame for your baby sleeping, then maybe limit your coffee to 1 per day and make it a decaf coffee. I hope that answers your question on does coffee affect my baby's sleep, and if you want more advice and videos just like this one, remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.